Turn to the story that's now breaking here at the top of news today. The Narendra Modi government has released the 2011 religion-based census, which has thrown up some very interesting figures. It's busting many a myth. That's right. As per the data, Muslims are growing at the highest rate of 24.6% in India, followed by Hindus, who are growing at a rate of 16.8%, and Christians, who are growing at the rate of 15.5%. Those are the figures that have come out in this religious-based survey. The percentage of Muslims to the total population of India has gone up by 0.8% in the last decade, between 2001 to 11. In the same period, the percentage of Hindus has gone down by 0.7%. The percentage of Christians has remained unchanged. Those are some of the big figures that are coming. Is this growth really to be seen as some kind of a threat, as some have positioned it? Has the right wing got it wrong, or have they got it right? That's what we want to raise at the moment. Look at those figures. For the total percentage of population now, Muslims form 14.2% of India's population, Hindus form 79.8% at 96.63 crores of our country, 17.22 crore Muslims, 2.78 crore Christians form 2.3 of the total population, 2.08 crore Sikhs form 1.7 of the total population. Buddhists and Jains are less than 1% of the total population of India. That's the story that we are raising at the moment here. Okay, joining me at the moment, our special guest join me. I'm going to be joined in a moment by John Dayal here in my studios in a moment. Also joining me is Kamal Farooqi of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. I'm also joined by Rakesh Sinha, who is an RSS ideologue. John Dayal will also join me in a moment. Appreciate your joining us. I want to come to you first, Kamal Farooqi, because the big number that we are getting is that Muslim population has grown more than Hindus, but is perhaps still not as much as the RSS wants, perhaps has been telling us that it is, that we are being encircled by Muslim. The fact is, Muslim population has increased by 0.8%, which is the highest growth rate. How do you respond to this?
Rajiv, yes, the facts which have been given to, released today, that gives some idea about the whole thing. But number one, I am totally in agreement with releasing of the census figures, correct census figure according to the religious, caste, the economic ratio and all those kind of things, because it gives me as well as the state the correct position, in fact. The number two is that some of the newspapers etc. are trying to gauge it as it is the increase of 24%, whereas in this last assessment it was very clearly mentioned that there has been a negative growth rate as far as the Muslims are concerned. Because
so there isn't a negative growth rate. Let me be honest, sir, there is no negative growth rate. Let's be clear. I am going entirely by the census figures. The census figures do show that Muslim population has increased by 0.8%. There's a 24% growth rate over the decade, but in total it is the percentage of increase is 0.8% at the moment. Let me come to Rakesh Sinha. Rakesh Sinha.
0.8%.
Rakesh Sinha.
Yes, this is what actually the figure is big.
Rakesh Sinha, many RSS groups over the years have told us, the VHP has told us as part of its Ghar Wapsi programs and other programs, that Christian population is increasing. The fact is it is remaining stagnant. The census shows no increase in percentage terms of the Christian population. And Hindu population, Mr. Sinha, has decreased by 0.7%. Muslims has increased by 0.8%. They are not outnumbering Hindus. 14% of India is Muslim, 79.6% of India is Hindu. Mr. Sinha? Mr. Sinha, can you hear me? I'm afraid Mr. Sinha can't. John Dayal, we want to respond to that. One of the points which has been made is Christian population because of conversion is increasing. Certainly the census doesn't seem to suggest that. Is that a source for you of gratification, given the kind of campaigns that have been run, that Christian missionaries are engaging in mass conversions across this country?
Oh, then we should have outnumbered everybody else by now. But unless you go by the larger...
So therefore, is it giving you a sense of gratification?
No, neither gratification nor... but it is certainly a blow to the sort of propaganda and the hate campaigns that continue. I hope it totally smashes them for the future. The point I would like to make is, are we, this is the census, I've tried to go through all the state-wise details and the district-wise details. We do not know what does this stagnation mean. Are we growing in some areas, actually declining or vanishing in some areas? Are we growing, migrating to urban areas, and Kerala is being depleted or something? So this is only a rather overview of the situation, and unless we have a look at the larger detailed data, we would not...
I'll give you the detailed data. Growth rate of population of different communities in this decade, 16.8% for Hindus. Growth rate, 24.6% for Muslims, 15.5% for Christians, 8.4% for Sikhs, 6.1% for Buddhists, and 5.4% for Jains.
But that is still a supra data. The fact is, we are very much below the national average. We are below the Muslim rate of growth, we are below the Hindu rate of growth. Just being stagnant is not... Are we at par with the replenishment rate? Are we not? These are detailed analysis, but at the moment, the data that we have gives the lie to the RSS propaganda.
You know, but there is one propaganda, Mr. Kamal Farooqi. The fact is, as I said, when I read out those figures, 24.6% for Muslims in terms of growth rate versus 16.8% for Hindus. Is there a need for the Muslim community to ask itself, do we need to look at our growth rate of our population and worry about it? Should the Muslim not be worried about that aspect at all? Because along with that, our figures, which also, as the Sacha report shows, is poverty and economic deprivation.
Absolutely right, Rajdeep, you are. Absolutely right, you are. That shows that the Muslims are, since they are not properly educated, their economic condition is not good. So, and we have seen, this is not amongst the Muslims, even in the Hindus and those people, among the Hindus, which are economically very backward, the growth rate of the population is higher than the normal Hindus, wherein the education has gone up. So that's the reason, in fact, the Muslims are, all of us know it, that the Muslims are the most educationally backward. Their economic condition is very bad. So that ultimately leads to the higher population, and it is an international phenomenon. It's a phenomena which is obvious.
Should you not be worried?
So we do agree that yes,
should it not worry you?
Educationally, economically,
should it not worry you? Should it not worry you? Should this not be the focus of groups like yours? Should the focus of groups like yours not be on population control?
Yes, you are right, absolutely right, Rajdeep, because it affects my health also. It gives me a sense of deprivation also, because I am not educated. I am not going as my other countrymen are going. In fact, it's a matter of concern for me also. Okay, I am really concerned, and that's the reason we are trying to educate the Muslim masses in a big way. That should be the government planning also. That why, if at all this is true. Yes.
Can I for a moment get a final word from you, Rakesh Sinha? I'm sorry that you were not able to come in for the earlier part of our discussion, but Mr. Sinha, over the years, the RSS's propaganda, or sections of the RSS in terms of the VHP and others, have said Christian population is increasing because of conversions. Certainly the census doesn't show that. The other one is Muslims will soon outnumber Hindus. Census doesn't show that. Is the time now come to get rid of propaganda and focus on hard realities?
Rajdeep, I am surprised. After the census data has been released, you are speaking like that. You just see the Muslim population is growing. It is faster than the average population. Yes. What does it indicate? And I remember that in 1920, the same trend was there when Colonial UN Mukherjee said that Hindus are dying race. And the Pew Research, that is the most reputed organization,
Mr. Sinha, just a minute.
Said that by 1950...
Mr. Sinha, just a minute. The Muslim population, as per the census, has grown by growth rate 24.6% for Muslims, 16.8% for Hindus. In terms of the total population of this country, Muslim population has grown by 0.8%, Hindus have declined by 0.6%. Hindus are still 79.6% of India's population, Muslims have come to 14.2%. Is that reason enough for you to today believe that there is some kind of massive demographic change in this country?
The Hindu population was 84% in 1951 census. Now it is less than 80%. That is a psychological mark. And I am telling you, the Pew research has indicated that by 2050, Muslim would form the largest population in India in all over the world. This is the highest population in India or all of the world. And the Muslim population, this trend is not only in India. This is all over the world. The Vatican has shown this concern. The average population growth of the world in the coming decades will be 35% and Muslim population 73%. So this concern has been being shown by all over the world. And I think as far as India is concerned,
John Dayal wants to respond.
There
Quick
three
response.
things are applicable here.
Dr. Sinha,
No,
Dr. Sinha, I went through every word of the very long Pew report. What it says is that while in the world, possibly Muslims may overtake everybody else, but in India, Hindus will remain the majority, possibly forever. The Pew report is categorical on that. So do not try to mislead all of us.
Okay,
Oh,
but
oh, now you, no, you want Hindus to be declined by less than 50%.
On the other hand, I wish them very well.
And the trend is obvious.
No, sir,
Muslim
I
population
wish
is
Hindus
increasing.
much better than you wish them.
I want this
John
to be...
John Dayalji, let me complete. John Dayalji, let me complete.
But I read the Pew report.
You have spoken a lot of things. Let me complete. As far Christian population is concerned, their growth has not been shown in census because there are crypto-Christians. Those Christians, those Hindus who have been converted, Dalit and the tribal Christians, the Hindus who have been converted to Christianity, they are not showing their religion due to reservation issue.
Tribals lose nothing by
One minute.
They are called crypto-Christians.
So you're saying that the true Christian population is not reflected in the census. You are saying that 80% is a psychological mark below which the Hindu population you believe has gone down in the country. That's your point of view. John Dayal is saying these are myths. Right? Am I correct?
Absolutely.
That these are myths?
That is a misquoting of the Pew report.
Okay, you believe this is a misquoting of the Pew report, and Kamal Farooqui is admitting. Sir, just a minute.
John Dayal.
There is an admission from Kamal Farooqui also that there is a concern which he has that Muslims have to look at issues of their population growth rate. But at the same time, I think the other myth that Hindus will be outnumbered by minorities has clearly been dispelled by the census. So it depends on which way you look at the census. If 80% is a psychological mark that Rakesh Sinha is talking about, then he has reason to be concerned about. If we are to, on the other hand, say that at the end of the day, Hindus are 79.6% of India's population, Muslims are 14%, Christians are 2.3%. The fact is they will not outnumber Hindus. That is very, very clear. So which side you stand, we leave it to you to decide. Kamal Farooqui, Rakesh Sinha, John Dayal, I appreciate your joining us on the news today.